Did you just leave the classroom and are having a little trouble landing a new job and need a little help with your resume? Maybe you're still teaching, but you're curious about what skills could land you a job outside the teaching field. Either way, I'm gonna share with you guys my top 5 best tips for my ex-teacher friends to beef up their resume and get that job that they want. Hey guys, if you are new here, my name is Laura, and you probably wouldn't know that back in January, I made a video talking all about why I left the classroom. I'll link it down below for you guys if you want to hear why, and you can go back and watch that. Not gonna get into too much detail now. So after making that video, I have received a ton of comments and texts from coworkers or old coworkers that also want to leave the classroom. But like anyone would be, everyone's kind of curious and hesitant about leaving the classroom because they don't know what kind of job they could get outside of the teaching field, education related field, with only teaching experience. So basically they're just not sure if they can get a job outside of the classroom. So I made a whole video talking about alternative jobs for teachers that were teaching related and not teaching related. Again, I'll link that down for you below in the description if you want to watch it. But basically, if you don't go and watch that video, the moral of the story is teachers can kind of get whatever job that they want. Teachers have so many skills from being in the classroom, and I'm gonna share those with you guys, and I'm gonna make them like pop in your brain, and you're gonna be like, wow, I do have those skills already. I can get whatever job I want. So definitely stay tuned all the way to the end so you can hear about them, so your resume can be awesome. Now, obviously there are some jobs that teachers cannot get right now. They might have to go back and get a little bit more training. Like being a surgeon, you might have to go back to school for that. So if you're reaching for the stars and that's what you want to do, you will probably have to go back to school to do that. But there are a lot of jobs that teachers can already get that just require a little bit of rewording on your resume that will show you already have those skills. This leads me into tip number 1, which is to research the job. So once you have found the job you want, the company you want to work for, they're hiring, go onto the application because most job applications are online. Go on there, read the description of the job, what you will be doing, the duties. Look at those skills. Most will say like responsibility, organization, making schedules, whatever it is for the job. Read those skills. Make sure you include those skills on your resume. Now, I'm not saying to go and lie. We don't want a teacher giving surgery to someone. You definitely don't have those skills, and they will vet you, so don't even try. But anyways, most jobs you probably already have the skills for. You just gotta reword them a little bit. For example, office jobs. Most office jobs want people who are organized, people who are able to make schedules, people who are detail oriented, people who can multitask. Is this sounding familiar, my teacher friends? When you are a teacher, all those skills are you in a nutshell. My kindergarten teachers, I only taught kindergarten for a few months, and multitaskers. So you have those skills. Once you've researched the job and you found those requirements, make sure you include all of them underneath your job description of being a teacher. Bold those words. Moving on, tip number 2, all those silly little awards and all those very important evaluations that you got, keep them. Print out a copy if it was online. Make sure you include those on your resume. You can have a little awards and certificates section at the bottom of your resume or somewhere on your resume. Now, this may not apply to everyone, but if you receive awards like me, for example, I have this one that I got from a professional learning community that I did my last year of teaching in Tallahassee. I got a silly award for a model classroom for student accountability. Now, this award went straight on my resume because yes, I held my students accountable. That meant I delegated things to them. I made sure that everyone followed their schedule. You see how this is all tying into different jobs here? So not only those silly little awards, but keep your evaluations from your principal, those informal or those formal evaluations that you got when the principal came in and watched you teach a lesson. Not only can you add them onto your resume saying that you were highly effective or effective, whatever your scale is, but you can also have those on hand of when you actually get the interview, because you're going to get the interview. And also on those evaluations, they also list out skills that can help you prove, see, my principal rated me, I'm very good at organization of my classroom, I'm organized, highly effective. So yes, your evaluations and your awards will help you beef up your resume. Okay, so this leads right into tip 3, which is to include all those experiences. Now, if you're like me, then you've probably taken off your college jobs off of your resume. Now is the time to bring them back. For example, I recently added this restaurant that I used to work at in college for about a year. I added it back onto my resume. Now, had I not added that back onto my resume, I don't believe I would have gotten the job that I recently got, which is a big surprise, and I will share that with you guys later on. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's exciting. So if you have some old like office job experience, let's say that you worked at the bookstore in college, or you worked as an assistant for someone in high school, I don't know, whatever you did, include that on your resume because it shares with the potential employer that you have experience outside of the classroom and you experience in the classroom too. So include it all. Okay, tip number 4 is include those internships. Now this one goes out to my under 2 years of teaching experience teachers. If you've been teaching for, let's say, 20 years in the teaching field, then you probably don't need to include your internships because your resume speaks for itself already. You've been at a job for 20 years. That's awesome, and I commend you for making it that far. But for my newer teaching friends, I have been told by a lot of veteran teachers that you definitely shouldn't include your internships and your field experiences once you get into like your 3rd, 4th year of teaching, because those don't mean as much as you being in the actual classroom and having your own classroom itself. But if those internships are really your only experience, like my year 1 teacher friends who have only been teaching for a few months, that internship is going to be your experience. Those field experiences where you went and observed teachers, that's your experience. So I say include it. And tip number 5, my last tip, is to consider doing some extra trainings. I kind of mentioned this earlier in the video, but you might have to do some extra training for certain careers. But if you've implemented all the tips that I've mentioned before, so tips 1 through 4, and you're not getting called back for interviews or places you've applied to who have not even contacted you at all, no means of communication, one of 2 things may be happening here. The first thing is you may not be qualified for the job because you don't have enough training for the job. So this is maybe where you consider doing some training courses. And the second thing that might be happening if you're not getting interviews, and this will be like a bonus tip number 6, is you need to get your behind off your couch and go and drop your resume off. So those are my top 5 tips and 1 bonus tip for spicing up your resume as an ex-teacher or a teacher who wants to leave the classroom. If you have any suggestions or experiences yourself with leaving the classroom and getting a new job, either in the teaching field or outside the teaching field, I'd love to hear about it. Leave me a comment down below. But feel free to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.